Hello and welcome to your next Pilates-based HiiT session. For this session, we are going to work on the strength and stability around the hips, but we're also going to add minutes of mobility. It's a 15-minute session, so you can easily fit it into your day, and by the end, you should feel that you've challenged those muscles around the hips, yet you have mobilised and stretched those muscles around the hips. You need to be warm before you start, so if you're not that warm, please press pause, go for a walk, do something, squat, move, march on the spot to make sure that you are warm and ready for this session. You don't really need any equipment. If you've got a little cushion close by, then you can use that. If you've got a Pilates circle, you can use that for one of the minutes towards the end, but it really doesn't matter if you haven't. When we lie down, make sure you're in a nice neutral position and remember your core. Remember all the principles of Pilates to ensure that you work effectively, reducing your risk of injury and definitely maximising the work, mainly to your glutes. First thing we're going to do is lie down in a nice neutral position. Your neck is long, tuck your chin down a little bit, arms out nice and wide. So we start with some mobility to make sure you are ready. Feet are going to be wide as well and knees quite bent. We use the core and we are simply going to do our hip rolls, sending the knees to one side, drawing yourself back, sending your knees to the other side. So we get that stretch down the side of the hip. I'm going to sit up and press play. I've put my timer so you can see it. 1 minute of each exercise. Are you ready? Ding ding. So, feet wide, arms out. We're going to send the knees over to one side, draw yourself back, go all the way over to the other side. And draw yourself back. Mobilising the hips, stretching down the side of the hip there. We're also mobilising our spine a little bit and across the front of the chest and shoulders, where we also get a little added stretch as we send our knees over, keeping our shoulder blades pinned to the floor. On the return, draw yourself back from your waist. We want to get that nice return, using those core muscles to support the spine and move the spine. Take this top knee down as close as you can towards the floor. That's it. And then again, over we go. Draw back and over we go. Fabulous. You keep going in your own time until you hear the ding. Then we come back to the middle. We bring our feet back to hip distance apart. We've got 2 minutes on this exercise, one on one leg and one on the other. So I'm not casually lying here with my leg crossed over. I want you to put your ankle on the other knee. Do a pelvic tilt, lift, tap down, lift and tap down. The idea is your hips are lifted here and level. This knee is crossed over, ankle across the lower part of your thigh, just above the knee on the other side. So we lift up. As you lift up, just make sure this knee goes out as far as you can, squeezing your bottom muscles on the side where your foot remains on the floor, trying to keep the hips level, the pelvis level as you lift up. Drive up towards the ceiling, your neck long, draw the ribs down. Just be conscious of activating the bottom muscles as you lift yourself up. And again. Fabulous. A minute of single glute squeezes. But the good news is we put that foot down and the other foot crosses over. Knee goes out to the side. Now you see the sole of my foot. And we lift the hips. So we tuck the tail under, push the lower back into the floor, push up. Now notice on this side whether it feels as easy as the other side, whether you can cross the knee as easily here, getting that knee out if at all possible as you lift up. Drive up. Pelvis is meant to be level. As you go up, I'm trying to push that knee down a bit. I think my knee doesn't go out quite so much, but we shall see as we drive through that foot that remains on the floor. Tail tucked under a little bit as you lift the hips. Fabulous. And again, driving up, tap down, drive up, tap down. Brilliant. Come on, a minute of these, please. And again, oh, I can feel my glutes already. Only done 1 minute on each side. Let's go to the ding. Fabulous. Okay, now we go to another mobility exercise. This one, our feet and knees glued together. Our knees go out wide to the side. So your soles of your feet together, arms out. When the ding ding goes, we send one knee over, all the way over to one side. Knee leads, so top knee leads, soles of the feet go together, knees out as wide as you can, and over to the other side. So once again, hip rolls, but with a bit of an adductor stretch, the inner thigh muscles. A little bit of outward rotation at the hip, and then we bring our knees over. We also get some lovely rotation of the spine. And having done the first mobility exercise, this one might feel a little bit nicer because we are lovely and open across the shoulders, and we can take the knees a bit further over, encouraging rotation of the spine, encouraging that movement in the hips, that adductor stretch, and over we go, and again, fabulous. Taking the knees out and over, and to the middle. This time we're going to roll over and have a lie on one side. Lie on your arm, underneath leg is bent, underneath foot behind you, top leg long. I would like you to tap your knee on the floor, lift your foot in the air, and then drive that foot back. Knee taps down, drive the foot behind you, but you don't want to roll the pelvis back. So hips face forwards, your neutral spine here, drive the leg up and back behind you. I'm not touching the wall, I don't know how close I am, but as I send the leg back, I'm making sure this top hip is forwards. Try not to roll back. This top hand can help as you drive that leg back, extending the leg. Fabulous. And again, all the way back. Tap down, all the way back. Good. Lengthening the hip flexors a little bit. Working glute medium min at the side here and gluteus maximus. Good. Behind. Tap down. Behind. Brilliant. Enjoy the stretch. We're going to stay on this side. This time we're going to do leg circles. So this leg is going to be long. I'm going to get you to imagine I pulled the leg, created space in the hip joint. We send the foot forwards and up, behind you and down. Let's do 5 that way. Forward, up, behind and down. Forwards and up. 4. And then another one. And then we do 5 the other way. Backwards, up, over the top. Trying to keep the pelvis still. So as you lead back, open the hip. But we try not to belly dance. Yes, we want this movement in the hip. We definitely want big circles. I've done 5 that way. I am now going to do 4 in each direction because I want to make sure we get the backwards ones in. And again, and then backwards and up, over the top. Back and up, over the top. Beautiful. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to get another one in. Definitely knee over the top. Good news, we've got to do those 2 exercises on the other side. That's a bit mean doing 2 in a row, wasn't it? But you know what? It's all right. It's all about the glute strength. So lying on your side, ribs in, top leg lovely and long. Bring the knee forwards, lift the foot, drive that leg back. Lower leg is bent. Lower foot is behind you. And as you drive that leg back, you're activating glute muscles, glute med min and maximus. If you get the leg behind you, opening through the front of the hip. Fabulous. Ribs in, relax your shoulder. Drive that leg up and back. And forwards, up and back. Brilliant. Keep going all the way. I can't see this, but I can't see what it says. It's all right, we're just going to go for the ding. Go all the way to the end. Amazing. Up, up, up. Oh, I can feel it. Can you feel it? Driving the leg behind you. And again. Yes. This time we have the leg circle. So make sure your underneath leg is bent. It's definitely needed as a stabilizer. Ribs in, nice long leg. Imagine I've got hold of it. And when the ding ding goes, we go forwards, up, behind you and down. Get the behind bit. We really want that. Oh, that's it. And again. One more, and then we go the other way. So go backwards, up, over the top. Backwards, up, over the top. Fabulous. Nice big leg circles. Oh, I've done 5 that way, and I'm going to go back forwards and up. So we want to vary. You can alternate with each one if you like. I am doing 4 this time. Big circles. Get the leg behind you. And then we go the other way, backwards, up, over. And then again, extending the hip, that's what we want. We've got a mobility one next. And rest. Oh, I did the same number on each, that's good, isn't it? So, I'm going to come into a seated position here. Feet wide, hands behind you, shoulders back, lift the chest. Okay, just lift up a little bit so you're stable here. My feet are wider. What we're going to do is take both knees down to one side and then come back up and take both knees down to the other side. This top knee wants to go towards the floor. Try and keep your bottom as close to the floor as you can. And it's mainly this inward rotation that we're looking for. So minimal rolling at the pelvis. There's going to be some, obviously, as you then take that top knee down towards the floor. Roll it in. If you think you feel it a bit more by keeping the other knee up a bit more, then do that. Take it in and out. In, keeping your bottom on the floor. I quite like taking both of them over. Okay, work, feel the movement in your hips as we send the knees over. Brilliant. Now, we're nearly there. We've got 3 more minutes to go. That's all, with our 15 seconds in between. This one, we're going to walk forwards, have a lie down on the floor. Nice long neutral position. Tuck your tail under, activate your bottom muscles and lift yourself up. Unusually, we are going to stay here. So I want you don't need to go too high. Bring the ribs down, tuck the tail under. And I just want you to hold yourself here. Now we can feel that we're activating our bottom muscles. Maybe your hamstrings are working a little bit, but you definitely want it to be glutes. We should be able to hold ourselves here for a minute. Okay, it's not long. And this is a little target for you. It's a little bit like the plank. We should be able to hold the plank for a minute. So we are going to see, with slightly fatigued bottom muscles, whether we are able to hold ourselves here for a minute or not. And we just wait for the ding. My feet are flat on the floor, squeezing your bottom, tucking your tail under. I've got my arms off the floor, only because I'm just praying that the minute ends soon. You could be resting your arms by your side. I don't mind. But we go to the bitter end. Fabulous. Gently roll yourself down. Cushion or circle for the last active minute here with regards to the glutes. On the insides of your thighs. Feet hip distance apart. We squeeze, a moment of hold and a slow release. Squeeze, moment of hold. Now, you could do this here, or you could bridge your way up and do it here. So a second minute of glute holding. Remember to keep the ribs down. Squeezing the inner thighs, activating your adductors. And also, as you squeeze, you'll be feeling you're activating your glutes a little bit more as well. Keeping your bottom up is an option. I think it's a really good option. If you can, do it for the last 20 seconds.
And then we've got an exercise to work on our core and a little bit of our shoulders, and maybe get an element of stretch around your bottom. Just a little bit. Oh. As I feel this, definitely in my inner thighs and my glutes, and gently go down. So our last minute and 15 seconds is in the plank position. On your hands if possible. Maybe you need to be on your knees. I'll give you an option for that. If you can be on your toes, you bring your knee across towards your opposite elbow. So as the knee comes across, it gets a little bit of a stretch. We draw the shoulder blade down and we are strong and stable in the upper body. Chest forward, shoulders back, knee across. Across. Now you could bring the knee across, lengthen the leg. That is hard. Hard on the shoulder stabilizers. You could do it as one, or do it deliberately. Knee, extend, bend, return. Knee, extend, bend, return. Or in one. You don't have to do the extension or the kick as it might be to the side at all. You could just do the knee. If you're on your knees, maybe you're doing the option that we often do, or we come into our plank position. So there's less stretch, but we've only got 20 seconds to go. 5 of this minute, and the final 15. 15, come on. Shoulders back, nice and strong in your core. Leg goes over, and again. Come on, 5 seconds. And
activity completed.
Rest. Stick your bottom back and sit back. Reach your hands forwards. Maybe you felt that in your bottom muscles. Maybe you felt that in your shoulders in the last bit. But I am hoping you felt it around the hips. If you can, bring this one knee in front. And you might want to be 90-90 here. And you square off to this leg in front and lean over it. Get a little bit of a stretch. If you're quite flexible, you can take that other leg behind you and come over here. Getting quite a strong stretch around the hip. And depending on your flexibility, it depends on where you put your foot. If you can have your foot here at 90 at the knee, great. That might be too much, in which case you tuck that leg in. Okay, it's all about the rotation, the outward rotation, inward rotation at the hip. And I'm going to do the other side. So we cross, turn that leg back, bring the other leg across, 90 if possible, maybe the other knee's out to the side, or behind you and lean over. Feel that stretch around the hip. Don't do this if you've got new hips, the ones that you weren't born with. Not a good idea. So, a 15-minute little HiiT session that was all about targeting the muscles around the hips, as well in a way of strength and mobility. So it's not all about the strength. We've got to have good flexibility and mobility as well. And hopefully by the time you get up, you'll realise that you've challenged yourself in both of those ways, with regards to moving to gain more mobility and flexibility, challenging the muscles to gain more strength and stability. Well done.